Have you ever chased something with all your heart, a dream, a promotion, a goal only to find that when you finally get it, there's still a quiet emptiness inside? You lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why it doesn't feel the way you thought it would. You got what you wanted, but not what you were looking for. If you've ever felt that sense that something is missing, even when everything looks right on the outside, then this story is for you. Stay with me, because it might just change the way you see everything. In a small village, nestled between rolling green hills and a shimmering river, lived a young man named Daniel. To everyone, he was a hero. He was brave, hard-working, and always the first to step up when things got tough. When others said, "It can't be done," Daniel would just smile and say, "Let's try." People called him strong, even fearless, but they didn't know the secret he carried inside. Behind his courage was a quiet sadness, a feeling he couldn't name. Even after achieving so much, Daniel felt incomplete, like his life was a story missing its final chapter. The applause from the villagers was loud, but it couldn't fill the silence in his own heart. Every night, that emptiness felt a little heavier. So, one morning, as the sun began to paint the sky, he decided he had to do something about it. He packed a small bag and set off toward the forest, seeking an old sage named Eli. Eli lived alone in a small wooden hut near the riverbank. People said his wisdom was like a mirror. It didn't give you answers, it just helped you see yourself more clearly. By midday, Daniel reached the hut. The air was still, and sunlight filtered softly through the trees, making everything feel peaceful. In front of the hut sat Eli, calm and serene, with a gentle smile and eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 stories. Daniel bowed respectfully. "Grandpa Eli," he began, his voice earnest, "I need your help. I've worked so hard my whole life. I've achieved things others only dream of, and yet I feel so empty inside. Nothing seems to satisfy me. Please, can you tell me, how do I find true happiness?" Eli studied him quietly for a long moment. Then a soft smile touched his lips. "I will help you," he said, his voice calm and steady. "But first, you must do something for me." He pointed to an old wooden bucket sitting nearby. It was worn from years of use, and Daniel could see cracks running down its sides. "Take this bucket to the river every day for 1 week," Eli instructed. "Fill it with water and pour what you bring back into my well. But remember," he added, his eyes twinkling, "the bucket has cracks." Daniel was confused. "But, Grandpa, if the bucket is cracked, the water will just leak out before I get back." Eli simply smiled again. "Do as I say, and you will find your answer." The next morning, Daniel began his task. The sun was already hot, and the river was a good half-mile away. He filled the bucket to the brim with cool, clear water, and started the long walk back to Eli's well. He tried to walk carefully, but with every step, he could feel water splashing onto his feet and see streams leaking from the cracks. By the time he arrived, the bucket was barely half full. He sighed in frustration, but poured the little water he had into the well. Still, he didn't give up. For the next week, he walked that same path every single day, filling the bucket, watching the precious water drip away, and pouring the small amount that remained into the well. Each evening, he returned to his own home, exhausted and discouraged. "This is completely pointless," he'd think to himself. "No matter how hard I try, I can't even do this one simple thing right." But a promise was a promise, so he kept going. On the 7th and final day, Daniel dragged himself to the hut, carrying the nearly empty bucket. He felt like a complete failure. "Grandpa," he said, his voice heavy with defeat, "I'm sorry, I failed you. I couldn't fill your well. The water just kept leaking out." Eli listened, his gentle smile never fading. "You didn't fail, Daniel," he said softly. "Now, look behind you." Daniel turned around, and his eyes widened in astonishment. The dry, dusty path he had walked back and forth on every day was no longer barren. It was now lined on both sides with vibrant wildflowers and fresh green grass. The sunlight made the petals of red, yellow, and blue shimmer like tiny jewels. He stared in disbelief. How did this happen?" he whispered. Eli's eyes sparkled with warmth. "The water that leaked from the cracks in your bucket gave life to this path. Every single drop you thought was wasted was actually watering these seeds, helping these flowers grow." He paused, letting the profound truth of the moment sink in. "This, Daniel, is the secret of life. We all have cracks. We all have weaknesses, regrets, and moments where we feel we've fallen short. But those flaws don't make us worthless. They make us human. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to just keep walking. Because even when you think your effort is being wasted, you are giving life to something beautiful that you can't even see yet." Daniel stood there, speechless. For the first time in years, he felt a lightness in his chest. The heavy weight of his own expectations began to lift. As he walked back to his village that afternoon, everything seemed different. He noticed the way the sunlight glimmered on the river's surface. He could hear the cheerful songs of the birds in the trees. He felt the gentle breeze on his skin, small simple things he had been too busy to notice before. That night, when he lay in bed and looked up at the stars through his window, the familiar emptiness inside him was gone. He didn't suddenly have all the answers to life's great mysteries, but he had something far better. He had peace. He finally understood that true happiness doesn't come from reaching some grand, perfect destination. It comes from the journey itself, from the moments when we stumble. The lessons we learn from our imperfections, and the quiet, unseen impact we have on the world around us. Years later, Daniel became the wise one in his village. When people came to him feeling lost or discouraged, he would often take them for a walk along that same path. By then, it was a breathtaking river of flowers, living, breathing testament to his lesson. He would smile and say, "You see this path? These flowers grew because of a cracked bucket. Every step I took, I thought I was failing, but something beautiful was being created, even when I couldn't see it. So don't ever curse your cracks. They might be the very reason life is blooming all around you." We all have our own cracked buckets. We all lose water along the way through our failures, our heartbreaks, our moments of exhaustion and doubt. But that doesn't mean we're broken. It just means we're alive. Every drop of effort you give, every kind word you speak, every bit of patience you show even when you think it's wasted might be nurturing something beautiful just beyond your sight. It could be a friendship, a lesson for your child, a story that inspires someone, or even your own quiet growth. So please, stop measuring your worth by what you've accomplished at the finish line. Instead, measure it by what you've given along the way. Because happiness isn't something you find at the end of the road. It's what grows quietly beside you as you travel, watered by your persistence, your patience, and your beautifully imperfect heart. The world teaches us to chase perfection, but a meaningful life begins when we learn to see the profound beauty in our flaws. Every crack in your bucket tells a story of effort, of resilience, and of an impact you might never fully realize. You may not see it today, but every step you take and every drop you give is watering someone else's path, maybe even your own. The flowers don't grow overnight, but one day you'll look back and realize that your journey, with all its leaks and losses, was exactly what made your life bloom. Stop waiting to be perfect before you start living. You are already enough, just as you are. If this story spoke to you, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need this reminder today, and subscribe for more stories that help us find meaning in every step of the journey. Thank you for walking this path with me.